Welcome to That Heartbreak Hogs podcast. If you are new here, please consider hitting that thumbs up and hitting that subscribe button. Please comment down below your thoughts on our takes. And with that being said, we are going to head into the video that you came here for. Well, we're back. Took an L, but I think we're still in the hunt here. Sid, were you expecting a dub there? I know we didn't do a preview video on A&M, but honestly, for me, I was not. But I mean, I was hopeful for it, but nothing really happened that I really wasn't expecting. What about for you?
Obviously I wanted to win, but I'm glad we at least won the LSU game. I know we recorded prior to winning that game, and I'm glad that one was a win by a good margin as well. So that's at least a positive that you can take away from this. I know we didn't win the A&M game, but
Yeah,
we've got some tough matchups coming up, and we talked about it.
opportunities.
Opportunities to make a statement, and I still think it's possible with the ranked opponents that we have coming up. We need a ranked opponent win, especially we're right on Texas's heel, right? And they have an easier schedule a little bit, and so they're going to continue inching up. So by the time we get to play them, I want to make sure we're still neck and neck, where even if we're one game down, it's not because of the rankings, it's because we truly deserve to be there.
Yeah, Texas is going to be a big game. They just beat Kentucky. We all know Kentucky has a couple injuries. Two of their best players are out, but still, a win is a win. And the more wins Texas is able to get, the closer they are to us as, competition to get in that bubble conversation. And if we can sweep them, 2-0 them, we would be in a preferable situation. Preferable. I don't know if I'm saying that right at the moment.
Keep trying, keep going.
In a good situation.
Yeah, preferably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah, so we got to beat Texas. Another one I see on here is Auburn and Mizzou. Those are big opportunities. If you can get one of those and then beat Texas, you're in a good position. Heck, if you can beat both of those teams, obviously you'd be in a really good position. You cannot lose all three of these games. I think you're in I would say I would even rather lose Auburn and Missouri and beat Texas, because I just feel like that you've got to beat out Texas in that bubble spot conversation of they're going to have a hard time putting Texas in over you if you beat them twice. What are your thoughts on that? So we
No,
got
that's
Auburn,
fair.
Mizzou, Texas, South Carolina, Vandy, and Mississippi State.
That's very fair. But I still think that we need to win one of the two. When I say one of the two, I mean between Auburn and Missouri. We have to win one of those two because of the fact that the season's coming down to it, and if we don't win one of these two, honestly, it would have to be, to make a statement, we'd have to win the rest of the 4 games, and I think that's less likely than.
And Vanderbilt's going to be tough. Mississippi State, as of right now, as we're recording this, Mississippi State is up on A&M by 7 with under 6 minutes to go. So,
and Texas is not going to be easy. I know we beat them already, but just because we're home. It's not
They're
going to be
actually
easy.
ranked
No
higher
team
than
wants to be
us in the
no team
net.
wants to be shut out though, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
no team wants to go 0-2. So they're going to fight that much harder and try to win on our course just like we did on theirs. So that's why I truly think we need a win.
Right.
And I'm
Don't
looking
sleep.
at
Don't sleep on that game.
Missouri.
Like, show up ready to
Right.
play because they're coming. You
Hmm.
made them look silly in their arena. They're gonna come up and they're gonna have some fight. And they're also playing for a bid into the tournament. I'm looking at the net
Right.
rankings right now. Texas is 32 and Arkansas is 42. So again, to me, it's like, yes, we want to grab one, if not both, of Auburn and Mizzou, but you cannot sleep on Texas coming into town. You got to sweep them. You got to beat them 2-0 and make sure that, if there's any conversation of you or them going into the tournament, well, you swept them, you know.
Right, for sure. I mean, do you
So
think that we need a win between Auburn and Missouri? We need a win or
it
no?
definitely helps, but then you
Let's
take
say
a
we
step
lose.
back if you lose to Texas. So if you beat,
True.
let's just say you lose a close one to Auburn and you beat Mizzou at home.
Hmm.
Then you lose to Texas at home. You beat South Carolina. You lose to Vanderbilt and you lose to Mississippi State.
Well, yeah, we're not getting in with that.
Right. I think that you could lose a close one to Auburn,
That's
beat
2 out of 5
Mizzou.
or 6.
Right. So and what was our thing? So they have 4 conference wins. So we were saying 7 or 8, 7 at the minimum, 8 as the most. So they need 3 wins, in my opinion, to be in. Honestly, they need 4 to really be in, but I think that they need 3 to be in the conversation. And it's fairly likely if you get 3, because then you have the SEC tournament. Just don't go one and done in that. But
Yeah.
okay, so let's do a few scenarios here. Do you have the schedule in front of you? Are you
Hmm.
able to? Oh, okay, so you're looking at it. Good.
Hmm.
So, let's see. So you could beat Missouri. If you beat Missouri, my next ones would be you need to beat Texas, you need to beat South Carolina, and I think you could honestly, I think you could lose out after that and still get it. I think if you beat Missouri, Texas, and South Carolina, you're in. Um,
Yeah,
Now
I can
I
see
don't want
that.
that to happen. I
I can
want to
see that,
finish with a
but
win.
right.
Um, but I think that's or another scenario is you lose these next 2, you beat Texas, you beat South Carolina. I mean, I think you could still get in if you beat Vanderbilt and or Mississippi State at the end. I think 3 can get you in. Um,
I get it.
but
Okay,
I
so
think 4 is the goal here. If you get 4 of these, I think you're in. Like
right.
4, you can pick whichever 4 you want here. You're going to have a ranked win in there if you pick 4 of them. Because
Right.
there's only 3 teams that are not ranked on that list, and Vanderbilt's pretty dang close, and Texas is fairly close.
The
So,
thing I'm gonna count out though, or count against, I guess, is that if we lose to Auburn and Missouri, we for sure, I think, need 4. And that's tough because that's 4 of our last 4 games to finish out the
right.
season, and we need all 4 of those to get in. I don't think 3
That's a good
gets us
point.
there. That's all 4 of those wins to get us there.
So you think 3 though could get us in if one of them's a ranked win? So like one of
3,
them.
I'm not counting Mississippi State as the ranked opponent though. Um, but yes,
So
I think
Mississippi
3 can get
State is
us
up by
in.
11 on A&M right now with under 5 minutes. Most likely Mississippi
Yeah,
State is going to beat A&M.
it's
Does
gonna.
that
I mean,
change anything for you?
depends how their season. I need to look at their schedule to
So
see
at the moment
what
they are
they've got
six
left.
and six in conference.
Right. They've got some.
That's interesting. Um, very
I do
interesting.
think I'm looking at their schedule, and I do think that they will continue ranked um, after the season ends. Because I
Right.
was like, maybe they do fall off. Doesn't matter if, like, obviously, if they beat A&M, there's more likely that they will be in. But even if they lose to A&M,
Yeah.
there's
Your
a good
thing,
chance they
it
still.
sounds like you're saying Texas, South Carolina, and Vanderbilt will not be enough.
I don't think that will be
Right.
enough. I do think
You need a ranked
if we
win.
beat Auburn or Missouri
Right.
currently, Auburn or Missouri, then
Mm-hmm.
I think three gets us in. So Missouri, whether it's Missouri, Texas, South Carolina,
And do
or
not
Missouri,
lose to
South
South
Carolina.
Carolina. South
Yeah.
Carolina. If you lose to South Carolina and you only win 3 from here, like if you beat Missouri, you beat Texas, you lose to South Carolina, and beat Vanderbilt and lose to Mississippi State or something, that South Carolina loss will hurt. Like, do not lose to South Carolina. Um,
Right.
yeah. Okay,
I
so
mean, like
yeah,
Missouri, that's what I'm saying. Missouri, if we win, let's say this is what I'm like guessing and predicting and
right.
hoping that happens. We beat Mizzou,
Yeah.
we beat South Carolina,
Yeah.
and we beat Vandy. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's still enough to get
And
us
Vandy
in.
is actually a good win. Like Vandy is
Right.
doing pretty well. They are 5-7 in conference, but this is a
Mm.
really tough conference. That does include a win over Tennessee, um,
And notice how I didn't
and
include Auburn,
Kentucky.
Texas. I didn't include Auburn, Texas, or Mississippi State. I had those three as losses, and I still think that's okay enough for us to have a good chance of getting in or be able to get
You're
in.
looking for the ranked wins. You want them to prove that they can beat ranked teams, and really the only way that they can do that is
I
they
want a
can do
top
it with 3, but
15. You're right. Like I don't
yeah,
want to. I want a top 15. Honestly, a top 15 ranked win would be huge because obviously Missouri.
right,
Our only ranked win right now is Kentucky, right?
right.
And Kentucky's slowly dropping in those rankings as well. So a top 15 ranked opponent win would be
Mhm.
something that I'm looking for.
The only reason that I'm not putting the Auburn situation out there just yet, is because I don't know if this team is there yet. I think they are getting better and better game by game, but I just don't know if they're there yet. They look like they were heading in the right directions with the Alabama game, LSU, and then A&M. It looked like they took a couple steps back. And what I mean by that is that the simple mistakes of Cal was even talking about it. He was like, look, we practice that if you're going down the baseline, you need to shoot the ball. If they force you down the sideline, I think that's how he said it. But it was kind of one of those things that they had most of their turnovers in the spot that they weren't supposed to be passing. And Nelly Davis, you can shoot pretty well sometimes, but my gosh, when you pass the ball, it is scary watching because it's
Yeah.
just like, where are you throwing that thing? And it just seems very careless sometimes.
I think in the SEC, it's possible to beat Auburn, like squeak away with
Right.
a shocking win.
Yes.
Um, but you're right in that we have to control the game. We have to control the turnovers.
Hmm.
We can't let these silly mistakes let us lose the game. And when it's
Right.
close, it can't be our fault that we lose the game. I mean, I was looking earlier in the season. South Carolina almost beat Auburn as well. They lost by
Hmm.
3. Right?
Hmm.
Anything's possible in the SEC. That
Right.
just proves my point that don't make those mistakes where it's a crucial loss that you're like, ah, I should have had that one. Should have
Right.
had that one. If only we beat Auburn and we didn't make that turnover. Control the game throughout, and I think it's possible. As long as that happens. But I mean, I agree with you. I don't know if we're there right now with with how Auburn's been playing lately, and they've been honestly dominating. So,
It is
um,
100% possible, like you were saying. And Cal
right.
last year with Kentucky, he beat Auburn this time of the year.
Hmm.
And whenever we're a 10-point dog, nobody's expecting us to win this game. That's whenever Calipari comes out and he surprises you.
Hmm.
So it definitely is possible. I'm not ready to say I'm predicting it or anything or that I expect it. I would not be surprised if we came out there win. I'd be ecstatic about it, but I wouldn't be that surprised. It wouldn't be like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe it. I still can't believe it. Now I was in disbelief with the Kentucky game. When we won that, I was just like, wow, we did it. We really turned it around and did it. We went over there and
Do
slapped
you
them around.
think? Do you think it matters if this Auburn game, like, do you think it matters for it to be a close game or if it's a blowout loss, or if we like or a close loss like we had against Bama?
So we're in a situation where a close loss to a quad one team doesn't hurt you a lot. And if you win, it benefits you a lot. So that's the blessing that we have with our schedule, and kind of a curse is that we've got a tough schedule ahead of us, but the losses don't hurt us that much. And if you can get some wins, it really helps. So yeah, don't get blown out, because whenever they were, I think the Alabama game, I think they were just outside the bubble right before the game, and then after the loss, they were still right at that exact spot. They didn't get punished for it. They stayed right there. I think even their net ranking stayed at the exact
Hmm.
same rank.
So as long
It,
as they don't get blown out.
don't get blown out. Keep it close, and then sneak out some games that you're not supposed to win, and do not lose any of the games that you're
Hmm.
supposed to win. You
Hmm.
know, you cannot lose to South Carolina. It's going to be a step backwards if we lose to Texas. If you drop Auburn and two close ones, Auburn and Missouri, and then lose to Texas, you've got to win out, and you've got to pretty much win the SEC tournament at that point. Make sure that you compete in these two games, have the opportunity to win. Be in a position where you have the opportunity to win, and you're getting in the tournament. I
Hmm.
think that if you can compete with Auburn, you're going to get 3 or 4 wins. Because it's going to be
Yeah.
loud there. It's going to be crazy. Cal's coming into town. Auburn's number 1. It's rowdy in there. It's going to be crazy. But that's just my take on it. Is I think that 3 wins, in my opinion, I think 3 wins will get you in if one of them's a ranked win.
Right.
Um,
And I just still
4
want to
wins is
also
a guarantee, pretty much. I think.
for at the like I said again, at the end of the season, just if we lose Auburn and Missouri, it's going to be a tough battle to do
Mm-hmm.
that. And going 0-3 also in that span with A&M, Auburn, Mizzou is not a good look.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
honestly is not going to help your confidence, build your confidence up for the last 4 games
Right.
if you lose these next 2.
Right.
And that's why it's more beneficial to
Yep.
pull one out of these 2.
Right. Go and compete with Auburn. Don't get blown out. If you get blown out at Auburn, it's not the end of the world. But now I feel like if you get blown out with Auburn, you have to win 4 games after that to get in.
Mhm.
I still think there's a possibility of getting in with 3 if you have a ranked win in there. But if you get blown out by Auburn, you have work to do, and who's to say it's not going to happen against Mizzou? you know. So Auburn will be very telling of where we're at. We made a lot of mistakes against A&M. I think if we didn't make the mental mistakes, A&M was very beatable. I mean, wow. Mississippi State is up by 16 with under 2 minutes left. So, I go and compete with Auburn, show them what's up, and do the same with Mizzou. And I think we're going to have a lot of tournament scenarios to talk about if you're competing. Because if you're competing with these two teams, in my opinion, you're going to win some games after that.
Yeah.
Just put yourself in a position to win, you know? So, Sid, let's finish this off with what are your predictions? Which games are they going to win? After what you've seen the progress, you've seen them take step backs. What's your opinion on what's going to happen moving forward?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you. Anything's possible with this team. It's a coin toss when it comes to some of these games where they surprise me when I'm not when I'm expecting nothing at all. They surprise me.
Yeah.
When I'm expecting too much, they let me down. So I will say that if I am going to predict, um, I'm not gonna be expecting anything against Auburn. I want a win against Mizzou, so I'm gonna say a win against Mizzou. South Carolina, obviously a win. I'm gonna put in Vandy in there as well, and I want to see Mississippi State. Honestly, Texas 2-0 would be great too, but I see Mississippi State win against Mississippi State more likely than Texas, which is crazy to say, even though they're up by a lot against A&M right now. But it might be the
Yeah.
last game of the season, and they might already be in, so it might not matter to them as much as it does to us,
Mm-hmm.
um, because we want to get in, and they might already be good enough to not care about that last game.
Right. Right. Okay. So you have Mizzou,
Mizzou, South
Texas.
Carolina, no, Mizzou, South
Oh.
Carolina,
Oh.
Vandy, and Mississippi State.
Okay. So you think Texas does get the comeback? Okay. So
Yeah.
Mizzou, South Carolina, Vandy, and State.
Hmm.
That's 4.
Yeah, I
So
think
you got
that's
him dancing.
enough.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
You think that's going to be enough to get in?
Hmm.
Okay. God, dude, this is really tough because I'm like you with the Texas game, but I'm also like you with or against you on the Mizzou. The Mizzou prediction is
Yeah.
I just feel like they're
Mizzou's
going to
a
let us
coin toss,
down. I just
honestly.
feel like they are. I could see them beating Auburn and then losing to Mizzou.
Mizzou's a
I
coin
don't
toss,
know.
honestly. But if we do lose Mizzou, just know it's a tough battle. I'd say less than 50% chance of us getting in if we lose to
Uh,
Mizzou and Auburn.
okay. I think I know what I'm going to do. I'm not hoping that this happens. Um, I can't pick them to beat Auburn, but I'm just going to say I'm not going to be surprised if they come out either a close loss or even a victory. Again, like Cal's teams, whenever they are, double digit underdogs going into somebody else's place, this is when the madness starts, in February. Call it February madness. But I'm not going to pick it. I've got to see it first. But I think we take an L against Auburn. I'm just hoping it's close and that you show some fight. You have some opportunities to win and that you just show that this team is still improving, regardless, and that we're getting ready for the big thing, the big, tournament. I I don't trust us against Mizzou. I don't know, whatever it is. Arkansas Athletics does not show up against Mizzou for whatever reason, and they seem to show up every time and make us look silly. I hate saying it. So 0-2 right there. I'm on the fence about this one, but I think an 0-2 start, you come back home, and it's against the Longhorns. I think you take them. I think you beat them. I think you go on the road and beat South Carolina. I think you go on the road and beat Vanderbilt. Now, I think you come back home and you lose to Mississippi State. And you're going to be forced to win a lot of games in the SEC tournament.
Yeah.
So I've got a Texas, South Carolina, and Vandy, all 3 non-ranked opponents. Again, I don't want this to happen, But this is kind of where I see it until, the step back against A&M, and then just watching A&M just get hot dog roasted against Mississippi State, who you were before, as we started this video, we were like, oh, Mississippi State, I don't know about that. I wouldn't really count that as a big win,
Who knows? But
we're
yeah, you're
skeptical
right.
of Mississippi State,
Yeah.
and they just smacked Texas A&M around, and so I just got to see more. I got to see how we respond in Auburn. I got to see how we play Mizzou, and unfortunately, right now, with what I've seen, I think 3 wins, and they're probably going to be the unranked wins, and then you're going to be back against the wall in the SEC tournament. Do not go one and done in there,
Yeah. Don't expect. I'm gonna keep it the same. Where I'm not expecting much, not expecting anything, and I'm gonna hope that they surprise me.
Yeah, no, same. I mean, I'm not rooting for my outcome because
Right.
my outcome kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But
Mine might be opposite too, and I'll take that where Auburn wins and
yeah.
yeah.
And this is what's
Mississippi
fun
State.
too, is game by game you can adjust what your predictions are looking like. It changes. So
Mhm.
anyway, I mean, we're at about 25, 26 minutes now. But just to recap, you've got Mizzou, a win over Mizzou, a win over South Carolina, a win over Vanderbilt, a win over Mississippi State. So that's the last 3 games you have them winning. It will likely be enough to get them into the tournament. For me, I've got kind of the middle games winning, Texas,
You,
South
yeah.
Carolina, and Vandy.
And then you've got us winning the SEC tournament.
And then I got us winning the SEC tournament. And then we get in.
And then we get in.
Yep. So, all right. Well, we'll see you guys next week, or we might have time to do a reaction after this game before Saturday. Kind of just depends. We've kind of both had hectic schedules, but hopefully we go 2-0 this week, Sid. And hopefully we eat up our words, and it's an awesome win at Auburn, and we really changed the direction of things. And Mizzou is packed and ready, electric, and ready to go. And
yeah, if we beat Auburn, we'll definitely have a reaction video.
Yeah. We'll have a reaction. We beat Auburn. If we don't beat Auburn,
Oh, you'll see us next week.
we'll see. So anyway, we're trying to stay on top of these things. We're gonna keep watching, and hopefully some interesting things happen this week. A lot of opportunities ahead, and we'll see if they're able to grasp those opportunities and get after it. So see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching. We really do appreciate it. Again, please consider hitting that like button, subscribing to our channel, and commenting down below. We'll see you guys in the next video.